On that bone-chilling winter night, the deserted platform of the New York Metro resembled a ghost town. The absence of the bustling crowds left a void that was filled only by an eerie silence. As I descended the stairs, the flickering lights overhead seemed to dance in an unsettling rhythm, their intermittent glow playing tricks on my mind. I boarded the train, and as the doors slammed shut with a metallic thud, a sense of unease settled deep within me. The dimly lit carriage was shrouded in shadows, and the rhythmic sound of the train on the tracks echoed through the desolated tunnels. It was a macabre melody that sent shivers down my spine. As the train hurtled through the darkness, a chilling wind sped through the cracks in the windows, carrying whispers that seemed to belong to a long-forgotten tales. I glanced around, meeting the vacant stares of the few other passengers. Their faces were cloaked in shadows, their expressions devoid of life, as if their souls had been drained away. Abruptly, the train screeched to a halt, thrusting me forward with a jolt. The lights flickered and died, enveloping the carriage in suffocating darkness. Panic gripped my heart as I realized we were stranded in the bowels of the tunnels. The faint whispers I had heard before grew louder, echoing through the abyss like an anguished cries of tormented souls. The door slid open, revealing a desolated platform that stretched into the inky blackness. An overwhelming instinct urged me not to step into the abyss, but curiosity gripped me, compelling me to venture onto the forsaken platform. The whispers intensified, their voices laced with anguish and despair, a mournful chorus that echoed through the eerie silence. Navigating the labyrinth tunnels, I felt walls closing in around me, the presence oppressive and suffocating. Shadows danced and contorted on the walls, taking on grotesque forms that twisted and writhed in the dim light. They seemed to be alive, mocking me as if they were the embodiment of the very darkness that consumed the metro. Finally, I stumbled upon a forgotten chamber nestled deep within the bowels of the metro. In its center stood a figure, draped in tattered rags, bathed in an otherworldly glow. Its eyes burned with a malevolent intensity, and a sinister grin twisted its face. It beckoned me closer, promising answers to the unspeakable mysteries that haunted the depths of the metro. But as I inched towards the figure, dread consumed me, sending icy tendrils snacking through my veins. I realized that the figure wasn't a harbinger of truth, but a sinister entity, a collector of souls trapped in an eternal nightmare. In that instant, I turned and ran, the cries of the lost souls echoing in my ears, an auditory scar etched deep in my psyche. Even now, as I recount the harrowing night, the scars of the Midnight Express refuse to fade. They serve as a chilling reminder that beneath the bustling streets of New York City, in the hidden recesses of the metro, there are secrets that lie waiting, secrets that are not meant for mortal eyes. In the dead of night, aboard the rattling New York Metro, I found myself a near-empty carriage. The dim lighting cast sinister shadows on the worn seats, intensifying the forbidding atmosphere that hung heavy in the air. It was as if an unseen eyes bore into the back of my skull, an unshakable sensation that sent a shiver coursing through my spine. Several stations passed in an eerie silence until, suddenly, the figure appeared, clothed in darkness, their face obscured beneath the brim of a wide-brimmed hat. They materialized onto the train. The other passengers seemed oblivious, lost in their own world, but I couldn't tear my gaze away from the figure as their piercing eyes met mine. With an air of an unhurried purpose, the figure glided through the carriage, their presence chilling and unnerving. It felt as if the time itself had slowed when they reached me, their gaze piercing through my very soul. They whispered words that elude my comprehension, their voice a haunting melody that sent waves of an unease rippling through the depths of my being. The train hurtled forward, each passing station fading into blur, while the figure continued their spectral journey through the carriage. The mere sight of them sent cold sweat trickling down my brow, my heart pounding in my chest, but no matter how much I willed it, I was unable to break free from the phantom's enchantment, rooted to my seat like a helpless marionette. As we reached a particularly desolate stretch of the tracks, the figure turned their attention to the emergency exit door. With an effortless wave of their hand, the door swung open, revealing a void of darkness that seemed to devour the very essence of the train. Without hesitation, the figure stepped out, vanishing into the abyss, and the door slammed shut behind them, sealing their fate. The train continued its relentless journey. Now devoid of the phantom passenger, the remaining passengers appeared dazed, their memories of the encounter fainting like a wisp of smoke, lost to the recesses of their minds. I, however, couldn't shake the lingering feeling of dread that clung to me, the sense that something far more sinister had transpired than mere mortal comprehension could grasp. To this day, I find myself haunted by the enigma of the phantom passenger, their true identity forever shrouded in the darkness. Was their presence a harbinger of imminent danger, lurking within the uncharted depths of the metro? Or were they a manifestation of the deepest fears and anxieties that lie dormant within each of us, emerging only in the most haunting of circumstances? The answer eludes me, lost in the void from which the phantom emerged. Legend whispered of a particular stretch of the New York Metro, an ominous place known as the Tunnel of Whispers. Those brave enough to venture into it claimed that if you listened closely, you could hear the faint echoes of disembodied voices carried through the darkened tunnel. Intrigued and undeterred by the spine-chilling tales, I resolved to explore the tunnel on a fateful night. With each step I took, my own footsteps echoed ominously, as the very walls of the tunnel yearned to consume my remnants of sound. The oppressive atmosphere squeezed at my chest, tightening its grip with each passing moment. As I ventured deeper into the abyss, the whispers grew louder, their voices a cacophony of overlapping murmurs that reverberated through the air. I strained to decipher their words, but they remained an enigmatic chorus, their secrets kept hidden from the mortal ears. The weight of the presence settled heavily upon my shoulders, a burden that refused to be shrugged off. The air grew thick with anticipation, and a sense of foreboding gripped me as tightly as the tendrils of darkness that surrounded me. Shadows danced along the walls, their ethereal forms twisting and writhing in the dim light, their sinister performance playing out before my terrified eyes. And then, as if summoned by an unseen force, the whispers coalesced into a single haunting voice. It spoke with a resonance that echoed through the very marrow of my bones, a voice that carried the weight of countless souls trapped in an eternal limbo. It pleaded for release, its desperation seeping into my very being. A siren's call I couldn't ignore. Compelled by an unexplainable force, I followed the call of the voice, my heart pounding in my chest, until I reached a hidden chamber nestled within the heart of the tunnel. There, in the flickering dimness, I beheld them, the spirits of the departed, their ethereal forms flickering like dying embers. Their eyes shimmered with a mixture of longing and sorrow, as if they yearned for salvation from their perpetual torment. They reached out to me, their ghostly fingers brushing against my skin, imploring me to set them free from their spectral prison. I could feel their anguish, their pain seeping into my very soul, intertwining with my essence. In that moment, I made a choice. I whispered words of solace and liberation, hoping to offer them respite from their eternal suffering. And then, as if in response, the whispers began to fade, replaced by a profound stillness that settled over the tunnel, as if the very fabric of the metro had exhaled a collective sigh. As I left the tunnel behind, the weight of what I had encountered bore heavily upon my shoulders. I couldn't help but wonder about the spirits I had encountered and the impact of my actions. Had my words brought them peace, allowing them to transcend their spectral existence? Or had I, in my naivety, merely stumbled upon a fragment of their eternal anguish, my intervention merely a fleeting respite in their endless torment? The Tunnel of Whispers remains a haunting testament to the fact that the spirits of the departed may linger in the most unexpected of places, their ethereal cries carrying through the darkness, beckoning those willing to listen. And as I recall that unforgettable journey into the heart of the metro, I am forever reminded that the line between the living and the dead is far more tenuous than we dare to imagine.